The video opens on a quiet suburban street. A little girl clutching a worn-out bicycle looks around nervously. In a world where fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye, sometimes the smallest moments hold the greatest power. Meet Lily, a little girl with a heart bigger than her empty pockets. Her most prized possession wasn't a shiny new toy or a fancy gadget. It was this old, slightly rusty bicycle. It was her ticket to freedom, her partner in countless childhood adventures. But today, it was her only hope. With a heavy heart and a rumbling stomach, she was doing the unthinkable, selling her bike, her only treasure, just to put food on the table for her family. As she stood on that lonely street corner, a sleek black car glided to a stop nearby. Inside sat Mr. Harrison, a billionaire CEO whose name was synonymous with success. He was on his way to close another multi-million-dollar deal, his mind occupied with numbers and profit margins. But something about the scene outside his window pulled him from his thoughts. He saw the little girl, her eyes filled with a sadness that no child should ever know, as she handed her beloved bike over to a stranger in exchange for a few crumpled bills. Her small hand clutched the money as if it were the most precious thing in the world. Curiosity, or perhaps a long-forgotten flicker of compassion, got the better of him. Mr. Harrison stepped out of his car and approached her gently. "That was a nice bike," he said softly. "Why did you sell it?" Lily, startled but not scared, looked up at the well-dressed man. "My mom's been sick," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "She lost her job a while ago, and we needed money for food." The simple, devastating honesty in her voice struck a chord deep within him. He asked for her mother's name, a routine question that would unknowingly change the course of his life forever. When Lily said the name, Sarah Jensen, time seemed to stop for Mr. Harrison. Sarah Jensen. The name echoed in his memory, pulling him back to a day he had long tried to forget. She had been one of his most dedicated employees, bright and full of potential. But during a recent round of corporate restructuring, a cold, calculated decision he had made to trim the fat and boost shareholder profits, he had signed her termination papers without a second thought. She was just a name on a list, a number on a spreadsheet. He had never considered the person behind the name, the family that depended on her, the life he was carelessly upending. A wave of guilt, so powerful it almost knocked him off his feet, washed over him. The little girl's hunger, her mother's illness, her heartbreaking sacrifice, it was all a direct consequence of his own callous action. The abstract concept of downsizing suddenly had a face, and it was the innocent, tear-streaked face of the child standing before him. He saw not just a struggling family, but the real-world impact of a decision made from the sterile comfort of a boardroom. The millions he chased seemed worthless in that moment, overshadowed by the immense weight of his regret. He had broken this family, and the realization was a crushing blow. But regret without action is meaningless. In that instant, something shifted within Mr. Harrison. The ruthless CEO began to fade, replaced by a man desperate to right a terrible wrong. He wasn't just going to give them money. That would be too easy, a hollow gesture. He needed to do more. He needed to restore what he had taken away: dignity, security, and hope. He knelt down to Lily's level, his own eyes now misty. "Lily," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "I know your mom. I made a mistake, and I'm going to fix it, I promise." Without another moment's hesitation, he took out his phone. His first call was not to an investor, but to his head of HR. "Find Sarah Jensen's file," he commanded, his voice firm. "We're reinstating her immediately, full back pay, and a promotion, whatever it takes." His next call was to his personal doctor, arranging for the best possible medical care for Sarah, all expenses covered. He then turned back to Lily, who was watching him with wide, confused eyes. He bought back her bike from the man who had just purchased it, paying him double what he'd given her. He then personally escorted Lily home, not just as a CEO, but as a man on a mission of redemption. The reunion at Lily's small, sparsely furnished apartment was a torrent of emotions. When Sarah saw Mr. Harrison at her door, confusion and fear flickered in her eyes. But when he explained everything, His chance encounter with Lily, his crushing realization, and his sincere, heartfelt apology. Her fear melted away into disbelief. And then, tears of overwhelming relief. For the first time in months, a genuine smile graced her face. It was more than just getting her job back. It was the validation that she hadn't been just a number, that her hard work had meant something after all. It was a chance to start over. This story isn't just about a billionaire's grand gesture. It's a powerful reminder that every decision we make, big or small, sends ripples out into the world. A signature on a piece of paper, a moment of compassion on a street corner. These actions have the power to alter destinies. For Mr. Harrison, it was a lesson in humility and the true meaning of wealth. For Lily and her mother, it was a miracle that restored their faith and kindness. It teaches us to look beyond the spreadsheets and see the people, to remember that behind every face is a story, and that it's never too late to make things right. True redemption is found not just in acknowledging our mistakes, but in the actions we take to heal the wounds they've caused. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content like this. We'll see you in the next video.